The Public Works Committee meeting dated Thursday, October 25th, 2018. Roll call, Madam Secretary.
Yes, sir. Mr. Abshire was unable to attend this evening. Mr. Anderpont.
Here.
President Barris.
Here.
Mr. Collins.
Here.
Mr. Farnum.
Here.
Mr. Guidry.
Here.
Mr. Guillory.
Here.
Mr. Landry.
Here.
Mr. Latour. Ms. Mayo. Here. Vice Chairman McMillan.
Here.
Mr. Scott.
I'm here.
Mrs. Trimmy.
Here.
Mr. White was unable to attend, and Chairman Brain.
Here.
You do have a quorum.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
We'll go to item 3, consideration of approving a utilities and drainage servitude agreement for the Johnny Bro Road Extension Project in Ward 7.
So move.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by President Barris, second by Mr. Farnum. Is there any discussion? Any objection? Hearing none, that motion will carry. Item 4, consideration
Move on 4. Second.
of approving a wetland mitigation agreement for the Ham Reed Road project in Ward 3. Have a motion by President Barris, a second by Mr. Anderpont. Is there any discussion? Any objection? Hearing none, that motion will carry. Item 5, consideration
Move
of
on 5.
approving a contract for material testing services for the Coach Williams Drive Extension Project in Ward 4. Have a motion by Mr. McMillan and a second by Mr. Scott. Go ahead, Mr. Scott.
If we can go back, I just got one question. How much did we pay mitigation on that per acre? On item number 4?
I can give you the per acre. I know the total was about 200,000.
Love them. Thank you,
Okay.
Mr. Brain.
All right, any discussion on item 5? Any objection? Hearing none, that motion will carry. Item 6, consideration of approving an active sale agreement for the LA 378 Westlake to Moss Bluff project in Ward 4. Have a motion by Mr. McMillan and a second by Mr. Guidry. Is there any discussion? Any objection? Hearing none, that motion will carry. Item 7, consideration of approving the following items related to the Carlos Drive Extension Project,
Second.
Phase 2. I have a motion by Mr. Farnum and a second by Mr. Collins. Is there any discussion? Any objection? Hearing none, that motion will carry. I didn't read A, did I?
No.
Or B?
Nope.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and read it in the record. A, active sale agreement, and B, active donation agreement. And those motions are still here, so, it'll be good?
Yeah, any
Okay.
discussion, any objections, we good.
Motion carried. Item 8, consideration of authorizing the parish engineer to advertise for the
Move on,
Calcasieu
8.
Parish
Second.
Project number 2018-11, new construction and miscellaneous roadway improvements of various roads in Calcasieu Parish, Ward 1, 3, and 4. Have a motion by President Barris and a second by Mr. Guillory. Is there any discussion? Any objection? Hearing none, that motion will carry. Item 9, consideration of accepting Calcasieu Parish Project number 2016-06, South Old Highway 90 Bridge Replacement Project as substantially complete. Have a motion by President Barris and a second by Mr. Landry. Is there any discussion? President Barris.
I'd like to commend the guys, everybody who worked on that project. I know it started and stopped twice because of the flooding incidences, and I know that was a pretty unique situation, and they had their hands full, but I've been out there. It looks wonderful. It's a great improvement, and just hats off to everybody involved.
Thank you, President Barris. Any other discussion? Go ahead, Ms. Trimmy.
It doesn't count on here. It
What?
just wanted to thank our staff, and I did see the new bridge on Jim Kent Road. Just letting you know, came over it today. It's nice.
Thank you, Ms. Trimmy.
Since you're talking about bridges.
Okay, cool. All right, any objection? Hearing none, that motion will
Move to
carry.
adjourn.
Second.
Item 10, any other matters for consideration? We have a motion and a second to adjourn. We are adjourned.
That's why I had to say
I wanna know where that mitigation bank is, Sue, when you figure, you don't have to tell me right now. Just tomorrow, send me an email. I wanna know how much we paid, how much we mitigated, and which mitigation bank? Because we're dealing with some of those issues right now.
Yeah, we're gonna defer again. We're gonna defer until what?
Until they.
January of 2023.
I'll do that.
We wait for y'all to just, we ain't gonna put no more board on. We just might be able to take it. You know,
30 seconds.
I got 17, 18.
I mean, they still got.
Call to order the agenda committee meeting. The purpose of today's committee meeting is to formulate an agenda for the regular meeting of the police jury on November 1st, 2018. I need a motion and a second to pull item number
Second.
17. I have a motion by Mr. Brain and a second by President Bears to pull item number 17. Item 17, take appropriate action on the terms of the following members of various boards and districts. A, Waterworks District Number 12
for
of Ward
60
3,
days.
Mr.
Second.
Allen Carter. We have a motion by Mr. Landry to defer for 60 days and a second by Mr. Brain. Any discussion? Yes, President Bears.
60 days?
That's what I said.
unless you wanna go 90, I'll go 90.
We go for 90.
Nine? You would rather
It
90?
takes time to find a qualified board member. I have been somewhat busy.
We have not had.
And I wanna make sure that I pick the right person.
We might need an auctioneer.
Okay.
Any other discussion?
I'll appoint you if it was legal.
That'll be
Mr.
fine.
Landry?
Thank you, Ms. Mayo.
I object.
Any objection? Motion carries. B, Waterworks District Number 7 of Ward 4 and 6,
Move
Mr.
to
Tad
appoint.
B.
Second.
Chapman.
Mr. Ted B. Chapman.
I have a motion by Ms. Trimmer to appoint Mr. Tad B. Chapman and a second by Mr. McMillan. Any
Move to adjourn.
discussion?
Second.
Any objection? Motion carries. We have a motion and a second to adjourn. Right.